Hello and welcome to your number one political channel here in YouTube. My name is Simon Irungu, joined in by the man himself, Mr. Herman Manyora. How are you doing, sir?
Wonderful.
It's been a while since we did the last show.
Yeah.
It's been a minute. Maybe you had gone to campaign for someone in Western region.
No, I don't campaign for people. No.
Your own, you went there for own personal businesses.
You know, I'm a villager.
Oh.
I'm at my best when I'm in the village at Lumbei.
Okay, are you a farmer?
No, I'm just a villager.
Oh, you don't do any...
Where I come from, nobody has even an acre of land. You just have small, tiny parcels.
Okay. I also want to appreciate the viewers. I want to thank them because we do this because of them.
Thank you.
And thank you for the subscribers who keep on subscribing every day. Okay, so today's question is on political kingpins or regional kingpins. All right? And I'm going to mention some of the few regions in Kenya and mention maybe a few names who are thought to be kingpins of those areas. I might be wrong with some of them. I don't know. I stand to be corrected.
Yes.
Okay? And I'm going to be starting with Western Kenya. And number one comes in with the self-proclaimed Mr. Francis Atwoli.
Yes.
We also have Moses Wetangula. I also didn't want to leave Musalia Mudavadi.
Yes.
In Nyanza, I only came up with Raila.
Yes.
In Rift Valley, I came up with Ruto, and also maybe Isaac Ruto also.
Yes.
Okay? Yes. To the central Kenya, I left a lot of question marks, okay?
Yes.
Because I didn't seem to have this person in mind who currently I think he is the voice of those people. Maybe you will tell us.
Yes.
Okay, in the coast region, I had Hassan Joho and Salim Mvia.
Mvulia.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's kick off the conversation.
Yes.
Do you think the people that I've mentioned, they are political or regional kingpins in the respective areas?
Certainly, these are great sons of, unfortunately, there's no daughter there.
Okay.
But these are great sons of this country. Mm-hmm. You began with Western
Kenya,
and you talked of self-proclaimed.
Yeah.
I think you would have used the word the undisputed.
Okay.
Leader from Western today is Francis Atwoli. Okay. Francis Atwoli certainly is the only man I know of who can marshal political leaders at short notice. He's the only man with the muscle to give the direction to the community. It goes back even when he was making Musalia the spokesman.
Okay.
So Atwoli has the muscle to be crowned the community leadership. Okay. Except for him, he's not a political leader.
Yeah.
He's not seeking any political office. Mudavadi certainly is a son of the soil. Mm-hmm. He's the blue-eyed boy, the blue-chipped boy, the blue-chipped boy. Mm-hmm. He's a man Luyas have always counted on. So Wetangula is another principle within the...
Does he fit in the same bracket with Atwoli and Mudavadi?
No. Wetangula is way off. You can't mention Atwoli and then you also mention Wetangula in the same sentence.
He doesn't fit.
Those are different people.
Okay.
Wetangula is way off, below. But Mudavadi, you can't wish Mudavadi away. Okay. He's making blunders, political blunders.
But he's still got a voice.
But he's still the man, even without doing anything. If you ask Luya, who is your person? Nani munaweza tuma huko mbele? Regardless of where they come from.
I have a Boda friend of mine back at home.
Yes.
He's a Luya guy. He's telling me, ikura hata Mudavadi aende wapi? Tutapatia yeye.
Yeah, and even if he's not start. So here is a man who is disappointing people. He's a man people wanted.
Okay.
But he keeps on disappointing them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to Nyanza. The undisputed. He's been there for very long. Raila. You
see, Nyanza, there's a small problem there.
Okay.
In another show, I think yesterday or something like that, with Judd, I said the problem that Raila causes people around him is that he's all too powerful.
Okay, it was the previous
He's radiating power. And when you are with him, he overshadows you.
Okay.
You feel small. He doesn't do anything. You just feel small.
I remember you saying some people were
suffocate.
Fans when they...
Yes, people are shaking. So, when you have such a huge tree, other trees cannot grow under it. That's the problem. So Raila is such a huge tree. Any tree trying to grow can't reach the sunlight.
Okay, should he create an atmosphere where other trees are germinating?
It rarely works like that.
For the sake of the future.
It rarely works like that. That's why they say fire begets ash. That's why a strong man, like Mudavadi, the father was very strong. That's why they say fire begets ash. Normally, great men do not give birth to great children. It's the grandchildren sometimes, or some adopted child, or some bastard somewhere. The people who grow under the shadow of a powerful man rarely find their own voice.
Okay.
So Raila is so powerful and overbearing in Nyanza.
Okay, so
it's not possible to find another.
Am I right to say that the next kingpin, the voice of Nyanza, he's going to be pointed out by Raila?
That may not. It doesn't work like that.
Okay.
It will just. They could even stay for long without another person. These people evolve. Now the people who had near equal status with Raila are people like Anyang' Nyong and Orengo. But because of under that huge tree that is Raila, they have been rendered where they are today.
Okay, Rift
and
Valley.
Even if Raila left politics tomorrow, they can't wake up one day and convince people they can have the kingpins. It will have, that's why I'm telling you, younger generation.
Okay, you have to
be
gain the people's trust.
Pardon?
You will have to be there in the game and earn people's trust.
Yes, and it will take a little while. So after Raila in Nyanza, it may take a while.
Okay, now let's...
But again, I could be wrong.
Okay, let's move on to the Rift Valley.
Of course, Rift Valley, again, Ruto, the same. Ruto is so powerful that he creates no room for another person in Rift Valley. That's why you see the friction between him and Isaac Ruto.
Sometimes back Isaac Ruto...
Because when he goes to Bomet, he doesn't expect anybody else there. He expects to be the one running the show. Then Ruto says no. You see? But even Ruto is not being very successful. Because Ruto is to Rift Valley what Raila is to Nyanza. So when you are that powerful like Ruto, it's difficult for other people to come up. And so there will be people playing peripheral games like Gideon. Smart games. The long game. So Ruto is undisputed.
Okay.
But there's potent power in Gideon. It is power in Gideon, but it's for the long game. So Gideon does not set himself to fight Ruto. No.
He's waiting for
his strategy is to let Ruto be exhausted. Let Ruto's fires be put out by others.
Okay.
When Ruto has become ash, then Gideon.
Okay, so unlike Nyanza, Rift Valley, they have someone watching, eyeing for that political...
Gideon is there.
For that position.
Yes, and people who are trying to fight Ruto, the Isaac Rutos, will easily be the people now to work for Gideon.
To support Gideon.
The people who Ruto has suppressed. Remember, after Moi and during Moi's time, there were very powerful Kalenjin people. You know?
Okay.
Like the Churiots and the rest. There were powerful names associated with Moi. Of course, we all know Bioti who died.
Yeah.
The others are still alive. But Ruto suppressed them. Or they self-first, they were first out. I want to say like they were suffocating under a Ruto power. You see? Because of the power Ruto is radiating. So once Ruto has been dealt a blow, he has been finished by the Railas of this country and the Urus. Now Gideon comes, and then he works with those people.
Okay, currently as we're speaking, can it work this way, where other leaders, Rift Valley leaders, they join in to support Gideon Moi? Can they maybe push Ruto off that?
They will not do that. They will not play that game. Because if they play that game, they will lose the people.
Okay.
So they want outsiders to finish Ruto.
Okay.
So they want the Ruto to be finished during this 2022, which I suspect he will. Raila and the Uhuru, they will deal him a mortal blow. They will finish him politically. Once he is irrelevant, then Gideon springs. And then he brings back the people who Ruto had suppressed. And then they carry the community. Because the moment the community see they have a hope, they have hope and a chance through Gideon, they all fall behind Gideon.
Okay, moving to Mombasa now. I don't know, it's been... it's not quite sure people, because there is Hassan Joho, some people are saying the fuel is finishing. Hassan Joho's fuel is not enough. Now we have someone like Salim Mvurya, the governor.
Mvurya. That name is difficult even for Mvurya.
The Kwale governor. Let's use the Kwale governor.
Yes.
How is the region there?
You see, first of all, the coastal region is unique in a certain way. The reason, for example, why UDA, that man won instead of the ODM guy in some by-election It is politics of the indigenous versus non-indigenous.
Yeah. So Hassan Joho being...
Yeah, Hassan Joho is not quite this, not quite that. Yeah. So that works sometimes against him. But it is true he's the undisputed king. The politics of the coastal region, especially Mombasa, Lamu, is highly linked with what happens with outside. Yemen, Saudi, and the rest of those,
Yeah.
And the resources that are pumped into elections coming from the Arab world.
Okay.
And the Islamic connection. And that makes Joho very, very powerful. Because this election is going to be about resources. Mvudi doesn't have those kind of resources. Neither can Ruto enable him to compete favorably against a Joho onslaught. But also remember, that indigenous versus the rest is also neutralized by the fact that King is also a powerful person.
Yeah.
And is indigenous. Is powerful. So when you have Joho combining with Kingi, then you are looking at a machinery Mvuri and Kinaisha Juma cannot match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now to the biggest cake of them all. Let's go to the central Kenya. Because I left this a question mark because people are saying that Uhuru hasn't been handed over the kingpin name yet. What do you think?
Uhuru is the undisputed king of the mountain.
Okay.
For many reasons. Not just because he's president, but because he's a Kenyatta. People easily forget. Being a Kenyatta is not a small matter. Kenyatta is an institution. Kenyatta is not just a name. Kenyatta was not just the president of this country.
Having Kenya in your name is not a small
my
thing.
friend. And on the currency.
Yeah.
My friend, Kenyatta is an institution. There are many people, when you mention Kenyatta, they stop. And those people are still alive. And they have influenced their children.
Okay.
And they give the community some sense of pride. The Kenyatta name gives the community some sense of pride, some sense of history.
Okay.
Some sense of entitlement sometimes, which is wrong. So, Kenyatta is the undisputed king because he's president, because he's a Kenyatta, but because of certain historical realities. You get it?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, being that powerful means, again, like in Luo Nyanza, it's not easy for another person to operate under his shadows. It's very difficult. It's very difficult. Now, Kibaki, Uhuru's father died in office, so there's no talking about a president post-election. Moi left office when he was
Very
visibly old.
Yeah.
Old, ailing, and he began ailing soon after that. But his politics was keep off. Kibaki left the office when he was almost finished. He wasn't that
He was also
really
very old.
in a shape. Contrary now to all those, Uhuru is leaving office. And that's what Atwoli was saying. And people, even me, I complained when Atwoli said it. But later on, upon reflection, I thought Atwoli had a point. This guy is young.
Okay, what do you
It's the first time we have a president leaving office while very active.
Still energetic.
Active.
I remember Atwoli saying that Uhuru is very young to leave
Just
office.
leave him alone.
Just leave him alone.
It's like leaving generals. When generals retire, you must be a very stupid government or a country
To
say
go.
because a general has retired, let him just go. That's what Atwoli meant.
Okay.
No country ever leaves generals just like that. Because you are in the army, you served well, bye-bye, shika mzuri, kakitu yako ndio hiyo enda. No country can leave generals.
Even in Africa, he's among the youngest presidents.
So this is a young man with very serious connections and networks. He will certainly be a person to watch. And ask Kenyans to look at Namibia and Tanzania. When Nyerere left power, he hanged on, he was around for some times. Of course, alikuwa na ile cancer that disturbed him, then he died. He died young.
Yeah.
But he was calling the shots. In Namibia, Sam Nyoma, when he decided to leave and handed over power to another president, he still controlled SWAPO, the political party. And I don't know what is happening now. For many years, if you are in Windhoek, capital of Namibia, you will see a motorcade, you will see the president. Even just people, the way they react to Sam Nyoma. will be much more grand than they will react when the president is passing. So some of these things, Atwoli was right. It's a reality you have to deal with. And therefore, Uhuru may even choose to go home and relax and do business or just relax and tour the world. But on the other hand, he may think in the interest of his own people.
Okay.
In the interest of the country. And even in the interest of the Kikuyu community. He may think it's better for me to hang around. Not necessarily in active politics, but in a position where I can influence one or two things.
I left Central Kenya with question marks because I think people from the region are diverting from Uhuru because he seems to be more interested in the interest of the country other than the interest of the community. Is that right?
It is. There's nothing that could be further from the truth. In fact, it's outright stupid.
Okay.
Let me explain. People have said Uhuru has left the mountain. On the contrary, Uhuru has been very unfair to other parts of the country. Under that canopy, under that cover that Uhuru is not doing much for his people.
Not Uhuru alone, also the previous Kikuyu leaders.
Uhuru has done so much for Central. And Obama was here and Obama said it. The chances of a child in Siaya going to bed hungry are much, much higher than a child in Kiambu going to bed hungry. Child maternal mortality and problems are higher in Kakamega than they are in Nyeri. These are facts. The Kikuyu have enjoyed the benefit of independence more than any other person. So to try to dispute that is just to be what I'm calling stupid. If you look at the infrastructure development going on around the mountain today, other parts of the country will take many years to catch up.
Including the new Mau Road.
Yes. So people are just talking, including the dual carriageway. You know, I'm telling you, there are things that are going on, including a big hospital and big things, and Uhuru can appoint 3 Kikuyus without batting an eyelid.
Okay.
Yeah, there can just be a job for 3, and they put in Njoroge, Kamau, and Jerry. Yes, without caring. So when people talk to me, I wonder.
Or Irungu.
Or Irungu like you. Tomorrow it may be you.
Okay, now moving forward, do we see Kenya moving away from this, from expecting them to be pointed out a leader by these kingpins?
You know, it rarely happens. People rarely point at people that so and so. It's not easy. It's not easy for somebody to point at somebody and people listen. Raila pulled the first one on us, Kibaki Tosha. But that doesn't happen very easily and in a very normal.
Okay, now I'm bringing this point even to the regions, that even governors and MPs and senators.
It's not easy. It's not easy that Raila can just tell people now from there you listen to Orengo. People tell him off. In fact, some people are tolerating Raila, just tolerating him.
Okay.
There are many people who don't like the domination of the Railas, the Jaramogis. They don't like it, but there's nothing they can do about it. They can't even whisper. They can't even talk. So if he's not there, or he's going and say, okay, now I'm leaving you with so-and-so. Hey, he will be defied in a way. Even Uhuru today cannot tell people from now onwards, since I'm leaving you, listen to Peter Kenneth or listen to Muhoho. People tell him off.
Okay.
Ruto cannot tell people Murkomen will be, now that I've been defeated by Raila and I've given up on politics, listen to Murkomen. It doesn't work. This is not a kingdom.
We are very high to finish this conversation, but unfortunately we have to bring it to an end. I also felt like it was a history class for me.
Yes,
I learned quite a lot that happened in the olden days.
Okay,
well, that has been the conversation here with Herman Manyora on political kingpin, regional kingpin. Till we have this conversation again, my name is Simon Irungu. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day.